News from China and images of crowded hospitals on social media have got people talking about a little-known virus called hMPV. Cases of the bug, full name human metapneumovirus, are high, and other countries, including the UK, are affected too. The virus is actually a common cause of coughs and colds and has been around for a long time. But with memories of the COVID lockdowns still fresh in our minds, what everyone really wants to know is, could this be the cause of the next pandemic?
Some of the pictures we're seeing from China might be of people who've got flu and COVID and RSV, not necessarily just hMPV. hMPV is human metapneumovirus. It's a virus that infects our airways and causes a respiratory tract infection. We've known about this virus for over 20 years now, and it's been circulating in the human population for a lot longer than that. In most people, it doesn't cause a particularly severe infection. It's only really a problem if somebody has a severely compromised immune system, or they're very old or very young. Then it can cause a severe disease, and in the elderly and in the immunocompromised, it can indeed be fatal. You won't know that you have this and not something else that causes a cold-like illness at this time of year. There will be no way of telling for most people. If you end up in hospital, they'll just end up looking after you and making sure that they treat the symptoms. And for most people, that's all they can do as well. Paracetamol and rest for most people. This is a normal part of what we see in terms of the bugs that circulate at this time of year. It's just something that happens. hMPV has joined the list of other normal respiratory tract viruses that increase in number around this time of year. So along with flu and COVID and certain other viruses, the numbers are going up. The numbers normally go up around this time of year. And of course, we think of an average. And of course, to get an average, you'll have some years where it's better than normal and some years where it's worse than normal. So it's probably not hugely beyond the average or the normal range of what you would expect. There's no evidence that what we're seeing in China is the result of a mutant or a new version of the virus. So COVID was a problem because it was new, and the immunity in the human population around the world didn't exist. That's not the case with this virus. It's been around for a reasonably long time, and therefore lots of people have had it. So the immunity that we see in the human population right around the world exists, which it didn't for COVID. So that really is the key difference. That's why, although in extreme circumstances, this can make people really severely ill, those severe circumstances are very rare. So it probably already is pandemic. The pandemic just refers to the spread. That doesn't mean that it's, the effects of it are necessarily particularly bad. So given the immunity that already exists in people, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to become a big problem. But it probably already has spread and might meet the definition of a pandemic already. There are many, many viruses that cause different types of viruses that cause the cold, and this is just one of them potentially. Certainly, I would be much more concerned if I knew I had flu than if I had this. So flu, of course, currently is putting a lot of people in hospitals. Some hospitals are having real problems because of it. And we see that year on year. I am unaware of hMPV having caused anything like, in this country at least, a similar problem. Yet it's been here for decades. I would be much more concerned about having flu myself than I would about hMPV.